upset the Bundesliga community with this question? When you take a look at the strikers who've made the move from the Bundesliga to the Premier League, in fact, particularly from Eintracht Frankfurt, which of course Marmoush is doing, they've put in great numbers during their time at Frankfurt. Yet when they've made the moves, be it, for example, Jovic to Real Madrid, Haller to West Ham, Muani to PSG, Silva, of course, also making that move to Leipzig. They haven't done very well. And you could throw in, I suppose, Nkunku, you could throw in Timo Werner as well. So the question I'll ask you is, why is Marmoush any different?
And you can throw in Erling Haaland, who came from Dortmund.
There we do
that stat. But where I thought you were going down, and that is a quite serious analysis of strikers who come out of Eintracht Frankfurt, because the last years, you remember, they had Silva as well.
Yes.
He moved on, and then they had Rebic, Jovic, and Haller, who didn't succeed. Muani the same. The thing is with Marmoush, what I like about him, and I think which is an advantage for Manchester City, that they get him now. He is on fire. This is one of the informed players in the German Bundesliga. He is in there.
Will he play as a 2 with Haaland? Will that work for him?
No, Erling Haaland doesn't like to play with a partner. That is well known. Ask Malen, who is now in Aston Villa, when he was put up front with Erling Haaland when they were in Dortmund. I think that he is coming nearly like a 1-1 to Alvarez, although they're a bit different because Alvarez likes to come further back. But as Marmoush said himself in the press conference, and we've seen him over the years, that he can come from left, he can play as a 9, he can also play as a number 10. But I expect him more to come from the left side and come in and support Erling Haaland.
So this is going to be a success in your eyes? No chance it will fail, Jan?
Oh, absolutely. These are human beings, and you just showed me a stat. So that was a quite credible stat. But if you're going to get someone in this window, if you're going to get something that gives you something new up front, this is a great signing.
OK, let's talk about the defence then, shall we, Frank? Obviously, you've got 2 players coming in who've hardly trained with this team, with this squad. How difficult is it as a defender to be parachuted into a side like this and try and perform at top level?
It's a huge problem, and it's going to be a huge issue for example, for Khusanov. Guardiola was saying that he doesn't speak English, and it's complicated for him. And he will have to talk to the midfielders. He will have to talk to his partners. So you have to command, and he's only 20 years old, so you have to show leadership. And you don't know the club, you barely know how to handle all the pressure and everything's going to happen. Therefore, it's going to become a problem. But you have to believe that you're capable of coping with most of the things, anticipating most of the things. It's how you can cope with that. But you play against Chelsea. Chelsea, very good in counter-attack, very vertical, very fast. That's going to be, could be complicated for a first game for a young player like him. But it's possible, it's doable, and they will have to work together, and it's up to the others to make sure they feel a little bit more comfortable than they could be. But it's a big question mark. It's, as you say, they're very much parachuting it. How they're going to land, I'm not sure it's going to be very comfortable.
Well, because they're landing into a team where everyone's just trying to look after themselves at the moment, make sure they don't make mistakes.
Everybody's just trying to plug holes to shore up this sinking ship. And in all honesty, if you're joining Manchester City, ordinarily you're coming into a defending champion in one way or another, be it League or Champions League or something else. And now all of a sudden you're coming into a City team that, I say, a little bit reluctantly, can't get much worse. Whichever way those 3 players fit in, whether they're included from the start, I doubt Pep would from the opening whistle against Chelsea. But whenever he decides to include them, you just feel that it's about making City better. And any other time, the pressure is, I'm making City worse. That's not at play here today.
Yeah, and it's the first time, I think, well, certainly first time me and you have had a conversation since Erling Haaland put pen to paper, of course, on that historic 10-year deal with City. 2 big questions for you. The first of which, what happens if they get found guilty and they're relegated?
Well, that would never happen. So I don't think that is the case. But if
what do you know that we don't?
Sensibility. There is no chance.
This is a Manchester City team.
So ask the Turkish what I think about Christmas. There is no chance that Premier League will tell them to go down 1 or 2 division. That is a fantasy world. That will never ever happen. And you can tape me on this, and then you can use it.
You did say Mo Salah was going to Saudi Arabia, and you did say there was no way Marmoush was going to move to the Premier League, but that's okay.
Yeah, and I can say a lot of things that I said I was right, but that is okay. But what I can tell you is that is a lot of analysis why Erling Haaland has done that. This is a match in heaven for Manchester City right now. There are 3 big statement for City in this transfer window. One, they extended, or just before, extended Pep Guardiola's contract, long-term contract to Erling Haaland. And by these 3 players that we're talking about now, they are 25, they are 20, they are 18. That is a generational change at Manchester City. And that is a new thing. Manchester City are here to stay. And if Klopp wants to have this barbecue celebrating some titles in his back garden in Leipzig, I don't think that he need that party to be going, because City won't be relegated.
Okay, second question. What happens when Real Madrid come knocking?
Then they'll be told that he got 10 years left of his deal. But everybody has been in the business. I even myself, going back to the time in Swindon when we got relegated, of course, I was on more money than Erling Haaland was at Swindon in the 1993. Yep. But one of the reasons I signed a long-term contract is that I knew that if someone come in with an unbelievable amount of money, then I have a 10-year deal left. There is a bigger chance that I will be sold. So this is good for both of them. It's a statement for Manchester City. It's a security for Erling Haaland. And he knows whatever happened in the future. So he can just sit out for 10 years. That will never happen. So I think I put that into the draws of statements. And it's an unbelievable statement that one of the best players in the world says, I want to play for you for another 10 years.